Good morning, Southeast. I hope you are doing well. I am back. I had my surgery a couple weeks ago, and for those of you that don't know, it's called a lower anterior resection with a temporary loop ileostomy. And so that was the first step. And so when we get the results back, I'll meet with my oncologist in a couple weeks, and then we'll figure out what our next steps are. But right now, I'm feeling great. Glad to be back in the office this week. Looking forward to preaching next week. I was able to join the church family for worship on Sunday, and I really appreciated Lou's message on relationships and motherhood and really men building into that relationship. And I really appreciated what he said about the tension that we have in our relationships and these different aspects, how if we take them to the extreme, they're not healthy. And so he talked a lot about that. If you didn't listen, I would encourage you to go back and listen to that sermon online. I really appreciated grace and what he talked about in being in grace and truth, the tension between grace and truth. And we see Jesus doing this with relationships. As we've gone through the Gospel of Luke, as we've seen Jesus encounter different people at different times, we notice that Jesus doesn't treat people all the same across the board. No, he meets people where they are. And that's really incredible. And so, for example, Jesus talked with the woman who was caught in adultery different than the way that he talked with Nicodemus. It seems that for those people who are struggling and who are suffering, Jesus kind of created a hedge of protection around him so that he could have a deep conversation with them. With religious leaders and Pharisees, he really used harsh words to kind of break through the exterior. So again, he can have heart-to-heart conversations with his people. And so as believers, as Christians, and I know some of you who are watching this may not believe in Christ, but for those of us that do, we hold this tension as well. And so when we're talking to our spouse, when we're talking to our kids or somebody at work or wherever we are also holding this tension of speaking with grace and truth. And what that means for us, we definitely need to be in the Word. We need to be driven by the Spirit, and we need to follow His prompting so that we know which of these to lean into more. Because there's sometimes when we get into a conversation, and we need to be able to tell people harsh truths that maybe go rub people the wrong way. But on the other hand, there's other times where it's like, the right words probably won't do much here in this situation, and I need to demonstrate grace. And so, again, it means that for us, we need to make sure that we're plugged into the Word. We need to be plugged into prayer so that we are equipped by the Spirit, to be led by the Spirit, to have these important conversations that God has entrusted us with as He has placed us on the mission field. I am looking forward to this Sunday, looking forward to preaching. Again, thank you for Matthew and Derek and Lou for filling in for me while I was gone, but I am looking forward to getting back in the pulpit. And this week, we're going to be looking at the conversation Jesus had with the criminals on the cross that He was crucified between. And I just want to read this to you. Luke 23, 39 through 43, it says, "One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, 'Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us.' But the other rebuked him, saying, 'Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong.' And he said, 'Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.' And he said to him, 'Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise.'" Man, that is an incredible passage, and it's just a reminder of God's grace, and we'll unpack that a little bit more this Sunday. I hope you can join us. That just reminds us of how powerful, just real fast, that reminds us of how powerful grace is in our lives. Grace teaches, grace welcomes, and grace is sufficient. So I hope you can join us this Sunday for worship. Hey, couple announcements. Mother's Day was this last Sunday, and that kicks off our annual baby bottle campaign. So pick up a baby bottle, put your change in it, cash, checks, whatever, bring it back to the church, and we give those bottles to the Pregnancy Resource Center. So as many of you know, when you give to Southeast, we take everything, and 10% goes to the different ministries across the board that we support, our missions across the board. And the PRC, Pregnancy Resource Center, is one of the ministries that we support with that 10%. And then the Baby Bottle campaign is something that we can add to it. So just a little bit extra going towards that incredible, wonderful ministry. Also coming up, we know that we have a lot of new people that have been coming to Southeast. And if you are new, or maybe you've been coming for a little while and you just haven't felt connected, or you're wondering how to get involved, I want to encourage you to come and join us for our newcomer gathering. We have this every other month, and our next newcomer gathering is on the 25th of May, and it's at 9:15. It's right before the worship service. It's a great time. I love teaching it, and it's really, I say teaching, but it's really just a place we can kind of introduce ourselves, tell you how to get involved at Southeast, and then answer any questions that you have. And so again, if you're new to Southeast, love to have you join us for that. Southeast, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Again, thank you for your continual prayers as I've been going through this health issue. And just ask that you continue to pray for Jamie and the kids. Again, I love you. Have a wonderful week, and God bless.